Hi YouTube! Welcome back to my channel. So for this Saturday and next Saturday, I am going to be doing a little mini series talking about my designer coffee table book collection. Now I absolutely love coffee table books, and I am definitely a little bit of a nerd, so I have books everywhere throughout my house. But I thought they would be fun to review these because a lot of times you really don't get to see into the books until you actually get them. And since most of these books can actually be found at TJ Maxx, you can find some really good deals on great books. I'm actually going to divide this up into two parts because I have 11 books and that'll be a lot to talk about in one video. So I'm going to start with my little book series books and then move on to my bigger books next week. So first up, I want to talk about the little book of Christian Louboutin. So I love Louboutin heels. They are absolutely my favorite heels. And one of the things that is interesting that you will find out in this book is, and it's very unique to Christian Louboutin, is that he is the CEO, he's the head designer, he has full creative control, and that's one of the things that makes it so unique. The thing that I particularly liked about this book is that we get to learn a lot about him, a lot about his influences, but we also get to see a lot of really beautiful photographs. So, I mean, just look at this. This is just an example. I'll sort of flip through. There are dividers in the book for different sections. But there are just so many beautiful photographs and examples throughout this book, and I feel like that it was really well done and really written. It was probably one of my favorites in the little book series. Now, one that is not my favorite, Prada. So this Prada one was very all over the place, very repetitive. There wasn't a lot of information on the brand itself, and there was really a lack of coordination with the photographs, and that's something that really bothered me in particular in this book. And there are still plenty of beautiful photographs, but there is a very big lack of sequential information, and so it was very jumpy, and I didn't feel like that I learned that much about Prada, and so this one I would not recommend. Now next is the little book of Gucci. And I think that this is such a great book. One of the things that I really appreciated here was that there were dedicated sections to different Gucci eras under the different designers. There was also a lot on the various collections, and I really enjoyed that. The one negative that I would say about this book is that they were a little bit too positive on some of the eras of Gucci, because honestly, Gucci has gone through several hard times, and I don't feel like that this book emphasized that enough, but I do feel like it does give you a lot of really good information and gives you a very good perspective on where the designer's different influences came from. Chanel. So this is the little book of Chanel, and there is a lot on Coco, but it did feel a little bit surface level, and there was a lot of glossing over various brand achievements of Coco and even of Carl. And the section on Carl was extremely small, even though he was a huge influence on Chanel as a house. And I felt like that this book left out a lot. However, I feel like that it was still a good book and it was a very interesting read. Now, next up, I want to talk about Dior. This one I think I definitely enjoyed the most, and part of that is because I have not spent as much time learning about Dior, but this gave me such a good sense of Christian Dior, as well as of the various designers that followed him in the house. And there were just gorgeous photos showing different times, showing different looks, and this one to me was one of the most beautifully done books, and it was also one of the most informative. So if you are going to get just one of these, I would recommend this one, or the Christian Louboutin one, because I do think that they are the two best books. Now, I do want to do one book that is not part of the little book series, just because it is smaller than some of my other very large coffee table books. And that is the pop-up book by Hermes. Now, this one, there's not too much to say about the information, because there really is not much information. This book is purely meant to show pop-up versions of various scarves, and that's very beautifully done. However, it really just gives the name of the overall design, the designer, and the year. So while it is a very neat book, this is not a book that is going to be informative for you if you're wanting to learn something, but it is in the beautiful Hermes orange. It comes in an Hermes box, and so it is definitely a fun book. Now, all the little books you can find at TJ Maxx. However, you cannot do that with this one. This one you do have to go through Hermes, and there's an English version, a French version, and a Japanese version, so keep that in mind when looking for this book. I hope that you had a fun time listening to me talk about these books, and maybe it has given you an idea of a coffee table book that you want to add. The little books will often range $9.99 to $15.99, or you can find them in sets that are normally like $30, $40. Now, this book is from Hermes, and I believe that it has gone up to $35 or so. Given this book, I think that it is much better to go with a couple of these as opposed to going with the Hermes. But that is just my personal opinion, and if you love books as much as I do, you may still want to get all of them anyway. Bye, YouTube!